are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm a little, that was a very tedious.
Mm. Yeah, it was. It's technology. You got a lot of technical difficulties. That's all right. It's all right. Yeah,
Yeah, so, okay, let's get into the introduction. So today I am here with Miguel, man of many talents. Is that how you say your name? I'm sorry.
it's not, but it's totally fine. It's always a common mistake. My name is Miquel, so M-I-Q-U. Yeah, yeah. But it's fine. It's so
Oh, I like that.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't worry about the error. Sorry, everybody gets
I'm
it wrong.
so
It's all
sorry.
right. No, it's all right.
I should have asked you when we were messaging, like, is this the
Yeah, yeah.
spelling
I,
of
I
your name?
I was gonna tell you, but I'm like, it's all right. She gets it wrong. Everyone gets it wrong, but
No,
it's
you
totally
can't do
fine.
that. You have to tell people the correct pronunciation of your name.
Pronunciation, it's all
Yeah.
right. Well, you know now, so it's all right.
It,
It's all
yes.
right.
Um, okay, so I'm very excited to interview you today. So, first question, can you tell me the meaning behind your Instagram, both of your Instagram's names? So, Champ Extra, and then I'm not sure how to pronounce the other one.
The other one's called Ripe Lemons,
Okay.
like ripe lemons. Yeah, I'll start with the Champ Extra first. So Champ Extra is literally a name given kind of by my mother. Um, Growing up, we would always, run errands, or like I would always go with her, like grocery stores and stuff like that. But on the ride home, we would have like really, really good, intricate conversations. And I will always, express to her that, I'm really getting into like, the arts in all facets, whether that be whatever, every medium, but I'm really having a passion at a really young age. So I feel like this is important to like, tell you so we can get into getting me into, some stuff. But she always told me that, no matter, getting into things, whatever journey you want to endeavor, you're always going to go through, challenges. But I always want you to remember that you are a champ. You're a champion. You're a winner at always anything, no matter what. So that kind of stuck with me when I was younger. And I was like, whenever I do get the chance to showcase who I am, I'll definitely use that name. So that's where the champ part came from. And then younger, I was always in like extracurricular activities. Like I would do like the instruments, music. I'll do like basketball. I was just doing everything. So that extra kind of came in that part of that name. So it kind of combined it together, and that's how champ actually became. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then
so cool. I love it.
thank you. And then the ripe lemons came upon. So I had this idea of my brand that it is now. Literally since I was probably, I would say, in betweens of like a freshman and sophomore high school. So I would just have these ideas. I was like, I want to cultivate, a collection of, or like basically like a production company sort of thing of like everything that I do. And I would go pull a lot, things from my inspirations when I was younger and the people I was inspired by. And I always noted that they would always leave something for the generations that's next, or that they will always have like informative type of art or like different methods or just things like that. They will always look out for the next generations or the new pioneers to come. And with that, I felt like people are afraid to get older or get age, but I feel like now your creations are getting older, which is a good thing. So that's where the name Ripe kind of comes from. People are, afraid to get older or ripen, but as you get older, you get wiser, and you also your idea is more, it ages well in a way that it's tasteful rather than just like a daunting, oh, I'm getting older thing. So I wanted my like creations or my art or my painting, whatever I do, to basically get old, but in a sense to where it's available to all the new pioneers in the future that wants to grab inspiration from me, as if, like I grabbed inspiration from the people that I'm inspired by. And then the lemons came with the name far as the adolescent type of thing in the the brightness and how the young, spontaneous type of people are when they're young. It was just like a double entendre type of thing, tying in with the old and the young and the old and the new. And I kind of just put that together. And then lemons are like a very like bright fruit I would put, into it. So I think that kind of came together in one. And then that's how I came with Right Lemons. Yeah.
That I love it. That's so cool. So from Ripe Lemons, have you ever been inspired to um make a piece by oh yeah, like inspired by the name to create art behind it?
Yeah, like it's weird that it's funny that you say that because like a lot of times I think about like, oh, I should do like a logo sort of thing or a piece specifically done, towards that. But I've been thinking about it, but I've also just wanted to like have my, things or the stuff I already make or I'm making to be that. But it's funny that you say that because I have been thinking about doing something solely dedicated to that. But that's definitely not out the picture. I'll definitely do that though. But yeah, I'll do that though. Now that you say it, I'll do that.
So I get 10%, right?
You get about five inside. You get about five. Let's start with five. You got another, idea that you want to pull into? We can work with that.
Then we work our way up.
There we go. Yeah.
So how did you discover your ability to be artistic and creative, especially seeing that you are more than just an artist, but you're a model and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a poet also, right?
Of course. Yeah, yeah. So me discovering my ability, my artistic ability. So to get a little background, a little small background, I'm the youngest of five children. So I became very creative as far as like doing things because not only if a lot of my siblings are they're older than me, but that's a significant amount where they don't really want to involve me in a lot of stuff. But it's not like that. But it was like I had a lot of room to do things freely because I was not always by myself, but I was by myself as far as up here, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So I was very inspired by a lot though. Like it helped me discover in my things I was into. So I would just watch a lot of stuff. I would just absorb a lot of things as a kid in a positive way of just artistic things. Like I think when I was younger, I really started doing art when I was 9, like really drawing and things like that. It was kind of a release for me because when I wasn't able to express how I was feeling or like express my emotions, I would find drawing or painting as something that was easy for me to express, and also I can basically be my own type of counselor slash therapist in a way that I'm not having to directly express who I or what I was dealing with or like what I was going through, because sometimes that is kind of sacred. You know what I mean? So I feel
Right.
like if there is a way for me to communicate that, maybe I can communicate it in an artistic way where it's digestible for not only me but the person that I'm telling or the person that's viewing my art. And with that, I think as many times as I create new things or do new things, I just kept getting ideas and I kept, having a sense of ability of like everything else. But as far as that, it led me into kind of every avenue. So I would just be writing a lot and I would like journal a lot. But I'm like, I don't want to just sound like a dead horse, just always writing what's obvious. I want to do it in a creative way. So I looked, I'm like, oh, well, poetry is a thing. And I know that I don't have I'm good with words, but I'm kind of good with words where I can put it in a way where people can find out. Poetry is another thing that I do. So I got into poetry really young as well. Not only have I written poetry, I've like loved reading poetry. And the neat thing about poetry is people think it has to be a certain uniformic way of like, this is here, rhyming, Dr.
Right.
Seuss, but it literally doesn't. It literally doesn't have to be. It's what you want it to be. But that helped me convey a lot of my my thoughts or my express my emotions or anything. Also too in a very subtle way, which would meant a lot. So they don't have to really read a lot of things or read a lot about what I wrote, but they can get it in really good 3 stanzas if you really know what I mean. But that's helped me a lot too. The modeling too. I've always told people that. Well, people always told me, I should say, that I should model since my early teenage years. But I literally like recently, probably about a year ago, was like, okay, I can get into it and get really kind of serious about it. But yeah, ever since I've been, the experience has really been good. I hope to do, a lot more, which I am, and it's something that I can't say I didn't imagine myself doing, but being consistent on, it, I didn't imagine myself doing. But yeah, it's really fun. Every avenue or every medium that I do, I always give it my all, but it's really fun at the same time.
You're literally like a triple threat. And I can say the Instagram page,
Thank
very,
you,
very inspiring. I love it. And also you are very well spoken. So
thank you,
you do have a way with your words.
thank you. I
Um,
appreciate that.
can you tell me about an art piece that you've made or have seen that has made a huge impact on you?
Mm. Ooh, you know what? I literally like some of the new stuff I've been painting. Like a lot of the stuff that I've been painting like previously, it's been very, moving to me obviously because I created it. But in the same sense, I think now I don't know it's in a good way. I want to say this. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have this surge right now where all of my pieces right now are moving. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just in this state. I don't even know if it's gonna be, a continuous thing, but right now it's like every piece that I do, it's like really, really like moving to me. But there's actually a piece that I've collabed with my friend. Tariq, he's a really great guy. He's a really good guy. He has a business out. His brand is La Vie Factory. He's a designer. He's really good. Guys should check him out. Very, 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 very great quality stuff. Great mind. We won't be disappointed. Um, we collabed on a piece, and I don't know. I think it kind of it got me into the direction of appreciating it a lot more because it's with someone else. Like it's another piece that I collab with someone else, so I get to see someone else creative mind along with mine, and then come together and merge together and be something, completely, completely amazing. But that moved me a lot too because I don't know if you recognize or like seeing my stuff. I do a lot of like people, like I paint a lot of like faces or people or that thing. Um, and his thing is like more so like clouds or like more so like the silhouettes of like clouds with emotion and stuff like that. So I think that moved me far. That piece specifically moved me far as like it explained really the human, like the human, us as humans. Like every emotion, we're not the same every day. Every every moment in life is not the end all be all, even if it really is. You know what I mean? Just thinking that in that type of term, and like it gave me a different perspective on not only me creating it, but like when it also moved me to the point where it's like, oh, this is just more than me creating. This is also more than me, feeling moved with something. This is also intentional. And I feel like me collabing with, someone, let alone if it's someone else, but especially with someone that I, connect when it's like a true friend of mine. I feel like that moved me the most because it was the intention behind it. I'm really a person that's really big on like intention and stuff being really purposeful. And that piece kind of like gave me an idea of like, okay, be more open to obviously do collabs, but it moved me to the point where it's like, oh, this is a great feeling where I need to keep as a staple. And it moved me into a way to where like I can't, not that I can't, explain it or describe it, but um, it was touching because the rapport we have, and it's also touching because like it was a different type of thing. Like I've never really like I do a lot of acrylic paintings too. And I do a lot of oil, but I'm getting used to a lot of oil painting. So it moved me, a lot too, knowing the different type of paint that I use that I didn't think I would probably execute, and I did. And just us trying new things, and I'm just open to like trying new things, whether it be anything else. So I think that one recently, I could say, I know I have more, but that one recently that I've looked over my pieces a lot and our pieces, and I kind of like that one a lot because it was more than just us creating something. It was more intentional direction with it, and that piece right there kind of moved me a lot. That's probably one of my favorites right now that I have out of my whole 500 million kind of thing. So yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you for a favor, and if you
Yeah,
can send the piece to me so that I can share it on the page,
of course.
um, just to help people see what has inspired you. And then I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you next, so how was it learning the process of painting with oil as far as acrylic?
So it's funny you ask that because it's not like that. Like I'm like a foreigner to like oil paint, but I would say oil paint has its thing where it's like it can it can come out so good. Like it can come out, especially like if you have an idea of what you want to do, like execute like a type of piece you want to execute, as far as how the paint is, how easy it is, or how like easy gliding it is. The challenging thing though, I'm a person that loves to, because I do like a lot of people, so I do a lot of tones. Like my
Mm-hmm.
color theory is a lot of like skin tone. So, which is great with the oil painting, but the drying process of oil painting is really, really, really long. And what I've noticed that, because like with dealing with acrylic, it dries faster. You know what I mean? So let's say if I not don't like it, let's say I want to add a little more, components to the tones or whatever the piece is. I can do it easily because it's dried and I can go over it and do that and drastically manipulate it, not just like a faint little line. Because I have done that before. With oil, it's like you can do it, but it's how I like to say, just for me in my experience, it's almost like a huge, like far as a piece, like a huge permanent marker that doesn't really dry it. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like challenging for me to like be more decisive with what I'm doing as well. Because as all creatives or all artists, we think we are, pretty stern and direct with what we want and really decisive. Our mind changes every 2 minutes. So I always have to remember, like, okay, let's pivot to something that's more stern and more of that. Let's finish it instead of just keep adding because you're never gonna be done. But learning with oil paint, it was like, okay, this taught me to be more, decisive. Like I said, be more decisive and also be more open to trying new type of styles, if you know what I mean. Because
Yeah.
a lot of certain styles wouldn't work with different mediums. I don't know. That's just from my experience, but I can get it to that point. But I know I know how not hard I am, but I know how much of a critic I can be on myself in a good way because I want things to look good. But I can definitely say that oil has been not a challenge for me, but it's been a different experience to where like it's taught me to be more decisive when I do things, though. For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um. So, what other styles are you looking to try?
Mm.
If you don't mind sharing.
Cause you know what? Mm. I can tell you that like separately. Cause I'm not like I don't want to tell people what I'm doing, but
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean. But I can honestly say like I've looked at a lot of like so I looked at a lot of my people that I go for inspiration. But my favorite artist of all time is Helen Frankenthaler. She's an abstract artist, and I'm an abstract artist, but I'm obviously like
Mm-hmm.
you're an artist, you can do anything. But my vocal is like abstract. So seeing her methods and seeing her thing, she does this thing where it's like a soaking stain, right? Um, Obviously, there's different materials with the soaking stain, so that's obvious. But I love how the colors and how her color theory, how she mixes it with. I love how they correspond with each other. They really complement each other well. And when I looked at her pieces or looked at her art, it reminded me of mine because like the colors I used, and I've witnessed her like younger. I know her younger, but I revisited her when I went to an art gallery, and I seen a piece of hers, and I'm like, I know this person, I know this painter, and then I looked at her work and said, oh, this is from blah blah blah. But I think her style or like her things that she does, I feel like I'm gonna pull inspiration from what she does with this August thing. So it's more so not like direct paint. I'm gonna get into different materials using, but I have like I'll give like a little sneak peeky thing. So I'll have a piece dedicated to her, and I'll make it and do her method, and then I'll have like a photo shoot thing to represent everything.
Oh,
But I
okay.
can, yeah, that's what I can tell you right now. But everything else I can tell you after. But I can let you know that right now. So you can be expecting that a little bit soon. But yeah, can't wait for that.
Aw, that's cool though. So, how often do you visit art galleries, and what is your favorite art gallery?
So listen, for a person who's so embedded in art, I don't visit them often, like at all. But I think the only reason I don't is because it's like a kid in a candy store. I would be there all day. Like I can't just not be there all day. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, but I can say the last time I've been to one was like last month though. But I don't really go often. It's one thing this year though. I told myself to do more. But my favorite one. There's a ton. There's a ton. But I don't want to sound basic or anything. But I like the Albright. They like how they updated it or since they remodeled it or anything. It was perfect. It was perfect. But there's a lot of other ones that are really good. I know like the Buffalo Art Movement has like the BAM um gallery in there with like every other, they have different type of artists in there, different artists or anything. I like that one a lot because I'm a person that likes design, like set design as well. Like I'm really into like interior design and like architecture and home decor stuff. So on top of it being great art in there, I can see something that's designed, the infrastructure of a building in there that might pull me in there. So it's just more than the art, but it's like it's the whole thing, the whole experience. But I can definitely say Albright's probably my favorite one right now. But until I go visit more that I've already visited and review, and like, okay, this is my favorite. But I like Hunk Gallery too, even though it's like it's not like grander as the other ones, but I like the simplicity of some. And they have some, in Buffalo, like near Allen and stuff. It's like it's a whole bunch, but I think Albright takes the cake as of right now. Yeah,
So with you saying that you look at more than just the art, you look at the interior design.
yeah.
What does it mean to be an artist to you?
Wow, this is like it's like one of those questions where it's like, oh, it's so simple, but it's like really not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But because like when people say that, they think it's like and they expecting a certain answer. But I feel like everyone's answer will be different because it's art. I think everything is like different. But what it
Yeah.
means to be an artist to me, I honestly think it's just like I don't know. I feel like. Can you ask me a question again? And I can reprocess it because that was it's a great one.
What does it mean to be an artist to you?
It means to be an artist. I feel like being an artist to me, I feel like it's conveying or it means more than just what people see. It's more than what people are presented to. I feel like with being an artist is more than just the art. I feel like once present your art or being an artist, you're presenting more so your experience or yourself. So when I always like people always ask me like, what does it mean to you to be an artist? Or what does it mean, what happened or like what is the steps before, you find out what being an artist means to you. And I feel like it's just like life. You're never gonna figure anything out in really one day or even a lifetime. So I feel like as being an artist is literally living through experiences and it's conveying what you experience in a form. And then to wrap that all up with our, being an artist, I feel like that's how you should kind of at a certain point in your life look at life. Like at a point you're presenting you. At a point in life you are presenting solely you, even with your product or whatever you do. I feel like at the end all be all, like you are still the art. Like it's a lot of like learning in the art business, like me doing like, having, an art brand or yeah, the art is cool, but lately I've been solely on the business side where the art is already made or the art is like it's like a what should I say? It's like basically like water. Like it's like an element almost. Like sometimes I don't even think that I'm doing it, but I feel like that's what makes me pivot towards on how much that means to me. You know what I mean? So I feel like being an artist means literally everything. You can't really try to divide your life up with that. I think everything is connected. So what I would say to that being an artist to me is understanding that everything is connected and try to make it in a way where it's super not even digestible because everyone's not going to really digest it, but make it to a point where it's at a common understanding to where like it's all arts in all forms. It's not even you being a painter. It's not even you being, it's everything. Literally art is literally life. And they say that because it is. So it's like being an artist is literally I tie that with being a human in life. Like once you do that, once you figure that, the artistry or the artist type of thing, it's gonna come easy to you. So don't make people overthink that question because it's not something that you overthink. I think it's just a natural thing that people should always know. So yeah,
So with the fact that art is life, do you think that everyone has the ability to be artistic and creative?
for sure, 100%. I feel like like you can be artistic in anything. Like, um, so do you cook? Are you like do you cook or you're like a person? I'm gonna order something because the only reason why I say that because I feel like cooking is like an art form. Like, I think everything is like an art form. I think anyone can be an artist, but do you cook though? No.
Mm-mm.
All right. So what? Let me ask you this: what do you do that you would see that not like you're an artist, but like this is an art form. This is an
I
art
was
form
gonna
right
say, I feel like my way of creating art is my podcast. And
here.
along with my podcast, I do also have a blogging website. It's been a little inactive, but I have to get back to that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
feel like my art is me writing, bringing words to life,
Hmm.
and creating podcasts. And I got into editing and all that myself. So you saw me struggling earlier trying to just hit
No,
record.
no, it's all
Um,
good. It's all good.
but I feel like this is my art.
Yeah, no, see, exactly. And I feel like this is a great art form as far as like, this ties with writing almost. You know what I mean? Like that is everything, and also how I say everything, art is life and art is everything. That's how I also feel with like, writing or literature. I think that's a part of that too. You know what I mean? So um literally, like I said, literally anyone can really be, artistic. Like how you plate stuff on food. I always talk about food a lot, but how you plate stuff, how sports is an art form, singing is an art form, obviously fashion is an art form. Literally everything that involves something, that pivots towards a creation or you using not even your hands or your mind or writing. I think it ties with art is life. Like so anyone, any human has the ability to be an artist, I feel like too, because I feel like there's no rules when it comes to what, creation, but there's no rules at all what art is or like what an artist is. I feel like if you had a handbook to show me what an artist is, I think it would be everyone for real, for real. You know what I mean? So yeah, to answer that, I think that's solid.
So, have you ever looked at an art piece and thought this is not a good art piece, or have you looked at it like I may not agree with this, but I don't know what the person may have saw when they were drawing or painting?
Definitely. I wouldn't go to the bars of saying like I don't like it
Hmm.
because everyone has a different view on everyone has a different process. Everyone's style is different, so it would be a disservice to even myself as an artist to say that someone else is not good. You know what I mean? But like the second thing you said, I've had numerous encounters with art. Like numerous times I've seen art going to the gallery where maybe I didn't like, oh, I wouldn't do this, or not, I wouldn't do this, but maybe I just don't get it yet. Maybe I just don't get what made them create this, or maybe if I had like even a conversation, or it's good that galleries have that little like that little manuscript, little small thingy next to it to really give you an understanding. But yeah, as far as like me dissing in art, nah, I'm never gonna do that. I feel like if you put a little everything is so if you put a little circle in the middle of a big white canvas, I feel like someone's gonna love that. So it's like yeah, I've never gotten to the I never got into that space to where like, oh, this is terrible. Like, I'm not a creator at that. But as far as the other thing you said, I've definitely come across that. I don't know what specific right now, but because also this is what I kind of do half of my day, just look at different art forms and everything. But there is times where I had to pull myself and be like, yo, you don't know how or the process of them creating this. So this may be purposely done. This may be not purposely done. This may, it's so much guidelines to what that is. So, yeah, I'm not in there. I don't think I'm ever going to be a point where dissing art. But if I did have like a couple questions or a couple like, side eyes to art, it's not because I don't like it. It's just because I need to know more about, the story of it, or I just need to know more about, how that person was able to create this. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say that, not the first one. I don't want to diss nobody's no one's art. Nah.
So recently there was an art showcase that you were a part of. What feelings did you have during this event, and what was the takeaway from
Oh, the so last one. It was amazing. That was just not because I was a part of it. That was like one of the best shows I've been a part of in general. Like whether it was modeling, whether it was art, whether it was anything.
it? Hmm.
Um, it was more so. I think the feedback I got from my art. First of all, a lot of people that know me that were there didn't know that I created that. Like
Oh,
that I painted. Yeah, so like some people, obviously peers of mine, and like some people that did know me but seen my stuff, they know. But like a good handful of people that didn't know that I've even done that or I've painted. And I think it was good though because I feel like you know that's something for them to keep staying tuned for. But the overall experience was super super. It was like amazing. I think the feedback I got from it was incredible. A lot of a lot of great energy towards it. Sometimes when and that was kind of like my first showcasing my art. So I would be lying to say if I was nervous. I wasn't nervous at all, but I was kind of interested to see like the feedback, or I was kind of interested to see like how people would take and and took it. But for the most part, I always all the feedback I got from it was amazing. Um, the experience alone that was super super like welcoming, if I could put it into a word. Um, I took what I got from there. It's like, oh, you need to showcase this more. You need to showcase your art more. They don't even see what you have yet. You just have these that you had and wanted to put towards the show. But it's a great opportunity for you to build also clientele, everything. It was all facets, all avenues of anything that was great, that associates with the word great. That was that. I definitely want to do more. I'm definitely going to do more, but that whole experience, even with the fashion show, all the designers and all the models, they did super well. It was super great. Everything was super spot on. Everything was so organized and so clean and direct. It was a lot of fun. I had so much fun creating it, creating the process, creating the. It was like a room that we had to set up, and we only were home to that. But I feel like how we set it up was kind of like super cool too, tying with our art. But no, yeah, I really enjoyed that a lot. I can't wait to be a part of more of those and more galleries in the future as well. But definitely a great experience. And then if I could do it all over again, I definitely would.
It sounds so fun to be a part like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
I can only imagine. So how has the city of Buffalo or Western New York influenced you in an artistic way?
Mm, a lot. I can definitely see a lot. Um, if you looked at my work, a lot of my work is like I said, it's like a lot of people, but people don't know that a lot of those, faces that I draw, the things that I create, they're off like fragments of my life or like things I've seen in my life or inspirations from, you know, whether it is, movies or anything, but a lot of those are stuff I've seen living in Buffalo. So like, um, my thing right now, or not even right now in general, I always draw like people like men with like mustaches. It's so funny. I don't know why. I don't even know how I came up with this really, but it was cool because like I remember that a lot of like my either my relatives or like people that my dad knew or like some people that are walking across, they always just had a lot of facial hair, or if they didn't have a lot of facial hair, they would have like a thick mustache. I don't know why. It was just weird, but um, growing up, in Buffalo though, seeing different murals and seeing different like, graffiti or just the everyday life. And then like I know a lot of Buffalo has like, it's pivoted in a lot of fashion as well. So if you do look at my art, some people, that are painters, draw or anything, they have, they're very fashionable as well. So I feel like I wouldn't have known that, a lot of that, if it weren't for the city I lived in. But yeah, this place Buffalo is inspired. If I'll be lying if I say it inspired me. I've been here practically all my life, and still continues. It still has inspired me to this day. I think it won't ever stop. Even if let's say if I move out of the country, it will still be a part of who I am. So as long as like I'm still doing this, I feel like Buffalo will always have a big and a huge inspiration on me and all my creations as well. But yeah, definitely.
So Buffalo love.
Buffalo love, always 716.
So do you have any advice for anyone who's looking to pursue a career in an artistic career? Sorry.
Hmm. Well, number one, don't be discouraged. No matter long, however long the process takes, however long, the long nights where you are only there by yourself, and let's say if you're your own boss, like that's number one. Don't ever get discouraged in anything, in any involving any art, whether it be the business side, whether it be the creation, whether it be you yourself. If you don't feel it some days, like don't ever feel discouraged because it's nothing worse than knowing you have a calling or have a calling or want to seek a calling and deliberately not trying to do it because of something that may happen or something that may steer you away from it. So don't ever be discouraged. Um, Make sure that in the art that you create, I had a problem with this as well. I would be scared to not showcase myself, but I would want to have Chef Extra be different from the man, the right lemons. When I lurk and look, I'm like, that's never gonna work. It's never gonna work. So there's been times where, you know, I haven't got any compensation from a lot of my art. That never discouraged me as well. So I can honestly say I spent 3 years straight with no compensation for my art, and I've always felt like, man, is this just gonna be a thing? But I think I wouldn't, you know, had to. I don't want to say name, I'm not naming it, but I wouldn't have established myself as being a known artist right now if I would just go pivot on to wanting something lucrative. I think my plan wasn't that, and I feel like don't. Another advice too: money isn't everything. Even though it's inflation is crazy, the economy right now is crazy, but a lot of the transactional things deteriorate the intention. And if that was one bit of advice, especially how the climate of money is right now, and also how easy accessible it is right now. Don't let money be, the reason why something is. Like, don't, as an artist, money isn't always everything. It's very, very imperative, but don't make it everything. But and also too, childhood. A lot of things that a lot of experience from your childhood, at least for me, a lot of my inspirations, my creations are just fragments of things that I enjoyed as a child. So don't be scared to dive into your younger self and go back to, your memories, the highlighted memories, of the happy times, the things that made you feel good. Don't be scared to go in that realm because I know if I haven't went in that realm, I probably won't be doing these things that I'm doing right now. So biggest advice is don't be discouraged. Money isn't everything. Be intentional and tap back in with that childhood self because it's gonna help.
I think those are all very great, valid points. So we are conclude the interview, and
All right.
I felt like this was a really great interview. I really
Very,
appreciate,
very authentic. I feel like it's very natural.
yeah,
Yeah,
I really
good.
appreciate you for talking to me today. And I will be posting this hopefully by Wednesday, so I have to edit this and whatnot.
I didn't know all that. You gotta do all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll let you know right before I post it when it's going out, and hopefully keep in touch. And I wish you well on your journey of art modeling.
Thank you so much, and I wish the same for you. And I'll let you have 5%. We can talk about the 10. But same to you. This is a great thing you got going on. I want you to never, like you said, take some of my advice, but I'm gonna take your advice for being stern on my name. I should get on people for pronouncing my name right. But yes, I've enjoyed this. This is very, very good. This is actually my first interview, so
Yay!
you have that luxury.
So
Um,
when you're like,
when I'm like that, I'm never gonna forget my first interview. So
yes,
you get all props to that. All props
yeah,
to that. Thank you for having me. This is amazing. I've enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much.
no problem. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.